What matters more, your academic intelligence or emotional intelligence for your interview? Hi, Vinay Kumar here, international NLP and IAS coach. In this video, my dear friends, I'm going to share with you what matters more to your success in civil service exam personality test, whether it is academic intelligence or your emotional intelligence. Now, if I will have to answer to you straight on this, then the answer is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence any day matters more than the academic intelligence for your success, especially in the interview or the personality test conducted by UPSC, my dear friends, for the civil service exam. Okay. Now, you may be thinking, why? Now, when we ask the question why, the first thing that needs to occur to our mind is the fact that interview is conducted not by robots but by people with real intelligence and human beings with emotions just like me and you. Do you get that, my dear friends? So we are not dealing with robots with artificial intelligence. We're dealing with human beings, 5 people who have been achievers in their own fields of whatever in whichever field they wanted to achieve, they have achieved, and also they are emotional like me and you, which means what? They also have their unique set of emotions, good or bad, we don't know, but it's there. All right. So when you have to deal with human beings and not robots, this interview is very much emotional as much as it is academic. Is that clear, my dear friends? Let us take, for example, some of the emotions that you're going to experience throughout the interview, throughout the process of interview, and how you're going to deal with it. Let's take a simple example of you're asked 4 questions in a row and you're not able to answer any of those questions. What is a general emotional reaction to it? You start to feel shame, you start to feel guilt, you start to experience fear within you, correct? Now, if you can, if you allow these emotions to have control over you for the next course of the interview, even if it is just for the next 10 minutes, you have already shattered your chances of being there and doing it. Seriously, my dear friends, it's so important for us in our course of preparation to the actual interview. We need to simulate these emotions within us, okay, and see how we can deal with it. Now, how we are going to deal with it, I'm going to be sharing with you in one of my later videos, my dear friends. But then, for now, what I'm trying to bring to your awareness is that it is important to make sense of our emotions. Yeah, whether it is guilt or fear or shame or even sometimes anger. Yeah, please don't think you won't get angry in the interview. An interviewer may ask you a question which may connect you to some person or some event in your life which automatically triggers emotions of anger within you. Now, you're a human being and you may get angry there as well, and if it is in any way evident in your body language or your energy, the board immediately comes into terms with it. Yes or no, my dear friends? Now, please, you need to understand the principle behind why emotional intelligence matters more than the academic intelligence at the interview. The people who are interviewing you knows very well that they are interviewing a person for a leadership position, for a position of responsibility in administration, and they understand that this person is someone who is going to be handling emotions of so many other people, people who work under him, people who work as colleagues with him, people who work in a superior position to him, there is political executive, there are people coming and asking him for XYZ problems to be resolved or XYZ needs to be fulfilled, and all of that, my dear friend. So he's going through an emotional roller coaster, and how he's handling himself amid all of this becomes very, very important, and a micro version of how he's going to handle all of these emotions is going to be tested right there in the interview, for even if it is for less than 30 minutes. Okay, it's being tested. Yeah, you can't obviously ask a person questions like, hey, how do you handle your emotions in a situation like this? So questions are not going to be asked like that. There are questions asked intelligently as if they belong to academic intelligence, but they're actually testing your emotional intelligence. Got that? No, I'm trying to. When you appear stressed, when you appear fearful, when you appear, angered or excited, all of this is captured really well by the board, in which a good number of members have already worked in an administrative capacity and have had a successful career because of their because of their high levels of emotional intelligence. Is that clear, my dear friends? Okay. So now I just made a mention of an emotion like excitement. Now people say, hey, you shouldn't get excited in the interview about a question that is asked to you. Okay, when you're asked a question for which the answer is familiar to you, you shouldn't get excited. Instead, you have to be, you have to have your temperament in place, and you need to answer it very plainly, very, you just have to answer it as if it's just another question. I don't see that as right, my dear friends. In fact, if you're excited about a question being asked, show that excitement, provided you fulfill another condition. You have developed sufficient expertise in that subject, expertise with reference to that area from where the question has been asked. Do you get that, my dear friends? It's, instead of appearing as dull and monotonous for the whole period of interview, it's good to actually be on high energy in some phases when you relate to questions that you've known well, okay, or you've prepared well. But what is important is your excitement should be supplemented with your expertise. Now, why people generally teach you shouldn't appear as excited is because you may invite more questions from there and they may checkmate you. Look at it the other way. They may ask more questions from there, but when they see you excited over an area, you may get more questions, and if you have developed sufficient expertise, then any depth they get into, all they will come into terms with is your familiarity and your intelligence at the depth. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you, my dear friend? So it's okay, not to hide your happiness and excitement about a question, but you have to develop sufficient expertise in that area with reference to any question that's coming. Is that clear, my dear friends? Perfect. Okay, so please bear, now you know how to handle the emotions in the interview, is to prepare for them even before you actually go to the interview. Is that clear, my dear friends? It's very important to not just prepare on academic intelligence and wait for questions to be thrown at you so that you have some ready-made answers and you answer them, but it's also important to be ready with how you handle the emotions that gets triggered with some questions being asked, and how you can remain calm and composed through the interview, which is, I think, the most important aspect of you that is being assessed for. Trust me on this, my dear friends. How calm and composed you're going to, how easily and gracefully are you going to handle the interview for that entire period of 30 to 40 minutes is actually what matters for your success. Trust me on that, my dear friends. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you? Okay, I have come across, my dear friends, a number of people who are too good in their academic intelligence. They go to interview, they've got 135. In the previous interview, they go this time, they get 145. It's only a 10 marks jump. Okay, now what these people are not understanding is they are already too good in academic intelligence, and no more than the prelims and mains success consecutively for 2 times has validated it. Okay, somebody cannot just go and clear the prelims, clear the mains without academic intelligence. But if you actually look at these people, what they do after their mains, they are grabbing all the current affairs manuals that they can, and they're trying to increase their academic intelligence, only to go and get another 5 marks more in this interview and get 150. No, that's not a point of clearing or failing. You've not understood, you've not brought to your awareness what exactly matters for your success in the interview. And if you keep doing the wrong things again and again, you keep getting the results that you got in the past. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you, my dear friend? So it's very important that we come into realization of the fact that EQ, emotional quotient, matters more than IQ when it comes to success in the civil service exam personality test, my dear friends. Whether you consult a neurolinguistics expert or you consult an expert in emotional freedom techniques, it's up to you, my dear friends. But what is important is to be prepared. Prepared for how you handle your emotions throughout the interview. It's very, very important. This is something not many people, introduce you to, my dear friends, but this is what gets you a 200 plus score in your interview. I'm not discounting the importance of academic intelligence, but your prelims and main success has already demonstrated your academic intelligence. Now is the time to show who you are emotionally, how intelligent you are emotionally. Thank you very much, my dear friends, for learning from this video. See you all in my next video on some other important aspects of interview that not many people would share, but which actually matter for your success. Thank you very much.